morning, students. Today we are going to look at immunity. So, you know that we are having a capacity in our body itself to prevent, otherwise fight against the diseases. That is what you call immunity, isn't it? So, you know that when we are living in this environment, there are a set of, otherwise millions of pathogens will be there around us. And all these kind of infections are not going to be effective. What may be the reason? See, when I am talking to you, you can see that in my surroundings, air will be there, and in the air itself, so many kinds of bacteria, so many kind of fungus, so many kind of virus will be there, and all these are not going to be make any kind of disease in my body. What may be the reason behind? See, one example I will tell you that we are having soldiers in our borders, in our country's border. So many soldiers will be there, right? What they are doing? They are looking that any enemies are coming to our country to attack our country, isn't it? So they are always alert to do that. Like that, in our body, we are having a system which is preventing, otherwise defending the entry of these kind of pathogens. And what do you mean by this pathogen? Any kind of microbe which has got the capacity to produce, otherwise cause any disease is known as what? Pathogen. So we are having that kind of a system, a particular system in our body which is defeating, otherwise defending this kind of pathogen, and that system is known as the immune system. So what is immune system? Immune system is the system in a human being's body, otherwise in an organism's body, which is defending, otherwise which is protecting us from the diseases. That is immune system. Okay. So next, what are we are having some local defense system in our body. We are having some local defense system in our body. And what are the local defense system? See, the major one is skin. Our body, the entire body is covered with skin. So when the skin is covered, your blood capillaries, blood is not any blood vessels, I am telling, the entire body, inside body is not open to the germs. It is giving a protection. Otherwise, it is covering your body, means it is not opening your body up to the environment for the entry of the pathogen. It is just covered your body. Okay, skin is a good protection, and it is having a particular kind of protein, and that is known as keratin, and because of that it is impermeable to most of the pathogens. Okay, as I have told you before, we are having millions of pathogens around us, still it is not getting entered to your body. Why? Because we are having, our body is covered with the skin. So the skin is protecting, otherwise it is acting as an impermeable protection to these germs. So they are not able to come into the body system. So skin is a local defense system. And we are having tears in our eyes, and anything is trapped inside your tear, you can see that your eyes are going to be watery, and it is going to wash out from your eyes. Moreover, it is having some this disinfectant qualities, and it is also fighting against the pathogens. And the ear canal is also having that, it is also that kind of a defense system. And the stomach, you know that you are having hydrochloric acid. Gastric juice is there in the stomach, right? We have studied that in digestive system. In gastric juice, one of the component is hydrochloric acid, and one of the use of this hydrochloric acid within the gastric juice was what it was. We have studied in digestive system what it was. It is killing the germs which is getting entered to your intestine. Okay, when we are eating the food, it may contain so many kinds of infectious agents, and it is getting killed inside your stomach by means of gastric juice. And who is the content in the gastric juice who is killing this microbes? That is hydrochloric acid. Okay, hydrochloric acid is a local defense system. It's a part of local defense system. And you are having saliva, that is also having some antiseptic properties. And mucus, all the openings like your nasal cavity, your mouth, your genital opening, all these are covered with mucous membrane, and these mucous membranes are also trapping these microbes, and they are also defending these microbes to enter to your body. And we are having cilia. Cilia means what? Cilia means ciliated epithelial cells are there. We have studied that in epithelial cells. Ciliated epithelial cells are there in the trachea. They are also trapping the microbes. And another thing is that blood clotting. As I have told you, we are having the skin layer, otherwise the skin protection that we are having. And if you are having a wound, otherwise a scratch over there on the skin, the body is just open to the environment. Means it is not a natural thing. By accident some cut, otherwise wound had happened on your skin, means that is an entry for the microbes to get enter your body. So if it is not a serious wound, if it is not a severe wound and all, within 5 minutes itself that bleeding is going to be stopped. And how this bleeding is going to be stopped? Because you are having platelets in your blood and it is making the blood clot, and by this blood clot it is going to be sealed. Okay, the cut which had happened is going to be sealed by the plug of this blood clot. And here also blood clotting is another kind of local defense system which is preventing the entry of the microbes into your body. So what we are discussing about? We are discussing about the local defense system in our body. Means I have told you, we are having an immune system. An immune system has got different parts, and the first one is local defense system. And in local defense system we are having so many local defense system, we are having so many parts in our body. That is, skin is the first one. Skin is covering entire your body, and tears, it is also wiping out, otherwise it is also preventing the entry of the microbes. Another thing is that the HCl which is present in the gastric juice, that is also preventing the entry of the microbes. And your ear canal, your saliva, blood clotting, mucus, cilia, all these are the local defense system. And one another is that, see, anything while you are eating something is trapped inside your respiratory tract. You know that you are having a digestive tract and you are having the respiratory tract also, and somehow something is trapped inside your respiratory tract, and through the nose itself, if something is trapped inside your respiratory tract, what will happen? You will start to sneeze, otherwise you will start to cough. So body is trying to get it out itself, means body trying itself to get rid of that. Okay, as part of that you will start to sneeze, otherwise cough. So all these are the local defense system in our body to prevent the diseases. Okay, so next thing that I am going to tell you, that what are the two types of immunity. First one is known as innate immunity, and the second is known as what? It is known as the acquired immunity. Two types of immunities are there. First one is innate immunity and the second is acquired immunity. Innate immunity means without getting infected with any kind of microbe. Before getting infected, as I have told you, we are having WBC also there in our body. WBC means white blood cell. They are also fighting against the diseases. Somehow, if any microbe entered in your body, without getting infection itself, we are fighting against that diseases. That kind of immunity that we are calling it as what? Innate immunity. By birth we are having that capacity to fight against the disease, that is innate immunity. And after your birth you are exposed to so many kind of microbes. Even though we are having this kind of local immune system, otherwise local defending system we are having, and we are having WBC, whatever it is, somehow we will get infected to some kind of diseases, right? So after that we are getting a capacity to fight against a disease. After getting infected, we are getting a capacity to fight against a disease. That is what we call acquired immunity. Acquired immunity means after birth you are getting a capacity to fight against the diseases because of various reasons. That is acquired immunity. Okay, and acquired immunity can be, hope it's clear for you. Innate immunity means without getting infected with a particular kind of disease, you are having a capacity to fight against the disease itself. By birth you are having that capacity. That is known as what? Innate immunity. And the second type is acquired immunity, means after your birth you are getting a capacity, otherwise you are exposed to the environment, and by that, okay, you are getting a capacity, or you are developing after your birth by means of various reasons. That is known as acquired immunity. And acquired immunity can be classified into two major types, that is active and passive. Active immunity and passive immunity. What do you mean by active immunity? In active immunity, the antibodies are creating in our body itself. Okay, our body has got a capacity to make the antibodies against the diseases, and that antibody is preparing in our body itself. Okay, that is known as active immunity, and it can be two types, that is natural or artificial. In natural, acquired immunity means natural active immunity means we are getting that particular disease. For example, what do you call, you infected with chicken pox, okay, and that antibodies of the chicken pox is in your body. Why you got that antibodies of the chicken pox? Because you have infected once and your body cells made that antibodies, and it will be there in your body. Means actively your body made that antibodies, okay, naturally, and that is natural active immunity. This is artificial active immunity. Artificial active immunity means we are taking vaccines for different kinds of diseases, right? For example, if we are taking the vaccine of polio, okay, polio, that we are taking the vaccine, we have taken the vaccination of the polio and stimulating our immune system to produce the antibodies. Here also the antibodies are producing by our body itself. We haven't received a ready-made antibody from outside. The antibodies are produced in our body itself but we have stimulated the immune system to produce that antibodies without getting infected by means of vaccination. We are taking vaccination. Vaccination means what? Vaccination is a suspension of the pathogen itself. It may be killed, otherwise a weakened, otherwise some the toxins of that vaccine that we toxins of that pathogen that we are injecting to our body, that is known as vaccines, right? We have discussed that in the previous class. So these vaccines that we are taking, and we are stimulating our immune system to produce the antibodies. Both these cases, natural or artificial, both these are under active immunity. In active immunity, the antibodies are producing by your body itself. Natural active immunity means you are getting infected by that pathogens, and afterwards you are developing your antibodies. Here we are not allowing the pathogens to infect you. Before that, you are taking the vaccine, and by means of this vaccine your body will start to produce the antibodies. This is artificial active immunity. And the next type of acquired immunity is passive immunity. Passive immunity can also be categorized into natural and artificial. And natural means when you are in your mother's womb, means in the case of a fetus, it is receiving the antibodies from mother's body. That is a natural. Here antibodies is not prepared in the fetus body. It received ready-made antibodies from mother's body. Actually the antibodies prepared in mother's body, and the ready-made antibodies it received from mother's body. That's why it is a passive immunity, not active participation is there for the production of the antibodies here. And another one is artificial passive immunity. See, artificial passive immunity means, I will tell you one example, that if you are having any kind of what you call, in the case of a snake bite, okay, snake bite, we are not having that much time to wait to produce antibodies in your body itself, because the venom is spreading, because snake bite means the poison of the snake is entered in your circulatory system, and it is going to affect your cardiovascular system, otherwise your nervous system is going to be in trouble. So we are not having that much time to wait to produce all these antibodies in your body itself. So what we will do, we will take the anti-venom. Anti-venom is already prepared, okay, a ready-made anti-venom will be there, and we are taking that anti-venom and injecting to your body. We are not waiting up to that point to develop all the antibodies within your body itself, because we are not having that much time. Here we didn't allow the body to produce its own antibodies, but we have received the antibodies from outside. Here also it's a passive immunity, because we got this immunity from outside. The antibodies we got from outside. Here also we are getting the antibodies from not from our body, but we got from the mother's body. Okay, this is known as passive immunity. So that is acquired immunity. Acquired immunity means after birth we are exposed to different kinds of situation. As part of that we are getting the immunity, that is acquired immunity. It can be defined, it can be divided into active and passive. Active, I have told you, the antibodies are preparing in your body itself. That is active, and passive means we are taking the antibodies from outside. That is passive immunity, and the details of the antibodies that we are going to study in the next class. Up to this, you please revise up to this portion. That's all for today's class. Thank you.